your first cake comedy performer this evening. You've heard her on Sirius Radio. She is recording her very first album in October, and I'm so excited to hear it. Please welcome, give it up for Carrie Gravenson!
Thank you, Abby! Aaron, the ghost of Abby just came. That's terrible. How's everybody? Yeah, this is a really cool venue. This is unique, I think. Is this common in Atlanta? There's just a dime a dozen of these? Next door, down the street. This is awesome. I like touring. I like the party scene. Do you guys do a lot of parties here? It's like a party. Have any of you ever been to a mustache party? A mustache party, for those of you who don't know, is where everybody in attendance has to wear a mustache. That's it. So you could come and you could not. That's it. That's the whole party. And I had to grow. It's just you guys. So I had to get mustaches for the percentage of the population that can't grow their own, and that's women under 65 of non-Mediterranean descent, right? And I went to the party supply store, and I said to the woman who worked there, I said, "Excuse me, do you sell mustaches?" And she said, "I think we sell fake ones." Take those. That's what you have. Touring is also great because I love my coworkers. It is a very unique thing. I've chosen my coworkers. I've chosen well. I like traveling with them. I don't miss the day job where you would just make fake friends with people to make your day go smoother. No one you would normally want to spend 8 hours with, you know? Are you guys coworkers? Is that the knowing? I know, I see it. Last day job I had, I worked in a stuffy office, and this one girl came up to me in the kitchen, and she said, "I'm so weird. I like my turkey sliced really thin on my sandwiches." And I thought to myself, well, that's neither weird nor interesting. But I had to relate to her. I had to think of something that's weird about me so I could have something in common with her. We could get this fake friendship. What's weird about me? What's weird about me? And finally I was like, oh, I'm weird too. I can only orgasm when I'm being choked. You with that turkey thing. We are friends now. I often win the contest of the whitest person in the room. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm a pale lady. I'm the palest of them all. Are you more white than me?
Probably.
All right, well, let's talk later. Then this bit's for you. Do you have extremely sensitive skin? I have very sensitive skin. Okay, like if someone if you describe poison ivy to me, like I'll get it. You know what I mean? So I had a rash last summer, and a lot of times rashes need to be monitored on me, and it was one it wasn't eczema, it wasn't heat rash, it was something weird and new. And it was on my back, of course, right where I couldn't reach, in one line, and it was so painful. And then it started blistering, and it was hurting me through my body, and I couldn't even walk. And finally I was like, I gotta go to the doctor. And I go to the doctor, and I'm like, oh. The nurse takes me in, she says, "What brings you in today?" And I said, "Well, I have a horrible rash." And she looked right at me and said, "Oh, on your face?" No, I just walk around like this. This is just how I do it. I don't know, I just made it this bitch. Finally got in to see the doctor. Guess what it was? Any guesses? Shingles in unison. Wow. Yes, I had shingles, by far the sexiest of the herpes viruses. I don't think I need to brag. I mean, it's a strain of herpes. You get chicken pox, pee-pee herpes, mouth herpes, and then back herpes. And I had back herpes. But the doctor, it's very easy to diagnose if you're a doctor. I wasn't expecting it, but he goes, you have shingles. And my response was, "Will it clear up by Saturday? Because I'm going to a rave." That's where I am in life. I'm between shingles and rave, right? And shingles generally affects an older population. I know this because my insurance wouldn't cover it because I'm not 65. My skin is so sensitive, I'm getting skin shit from my future. You see, my skin is 65. My insurance is not. It's frustrating. I had to get the prescription for shingles, which is the same thing that you get for genital herpes. Does anyone know what that is? Answer in unison. We all know. Valtrex, right? It's a trap. Whoever answers, I say they don't have herpes. So no one, everyone, right? Okay. But I had to go get Valtrex, and I'm nervous about filling it because I'm like, oh, the druggist is going to think that I have genital herpes, and I don't want them to think that I have genital herpes. But and like we know Valtrex from the ad, it makes herpes look like so much fun. It's like I'm kayaking. Too bad my genitals are bleeding. Like, I can't rock climb with these festering sores in my penis hole. Thanks, Valtrex. You know. So I go, and then I'm like, why do I care what the druggist thinks of me, right? Herpes is very common. It's really, really, really common. And to illustrate how common it is, yeah, this is about the pop. I want everyone in here to look to their left. That's this way for you guys. And now look to your right. And now we all have herpes. That's how you get it now. It's bad. A couple months after the shingles thing happened, I did get a rash on my face, unrelated to the shingles, totally separate, but I had this horrible rash on my face, and it was red and puffy and scaly, and it swelled my left eye shut. And it was like so poofed out that it was like shiny, you know? And I didn't want to leave my apartment to go to the doctor again. So I leave and I'm trying to like hide it, and like children are pointing and screaming, dogs are barking, like pigeons are turning inside out. Like it's weird. And I finally get to the doctor and it's the same nurse. What brings you in today? I have a rash. I have a rash. And she looks at me and she says, where? On my fucking face! You know what I look like! Why are you so... She's like, I'm gonna write you a prescription for a paper bag. Will that cover this whole thing here? It's bad. I find dating challenging, because I guess I have a hideous face, according to this nurse. I was in a really long relationship, and then I got out, and it's hard to get back out on the dating scene, right? You feel a little awkward, and what has changed, and blah, blah, blah. I said I was single one time at a show, and a lady in front shouted, "Get in line!" Super aggressive, like. And I didn't know there was a line for single ladies, like, so I'm further back in it, you should get in the line too. I'm further back in it than I should be, right? Because I didn't get in it right when I got dumped. I waited, and I didn't get to ask her, but what's at the front of the line, right? Is it a line of single dudes, and you just high-five the guy at the front, and then you go out with that guy? I would more imagine that it's just a cliff. You just kill yourself. You can't find anyone, just die, you lonely women, you just jump off. There's just a pile of lonely women at the bottom, like, crawling toward the cat store. But I think what she meant to say was get online, not get in line, because get online, that's where people are dating, right? Did anyone here meet online? No, you guys met online? Which website? Match. Oh, you answered in unison. You'd practice your fake answer. Because it was something sexy. No, all right. Match is great. Yeah, I've tried online dating. I tried meeting guys in bars. Does anyone do that anymore? No, I know. Thanks for telling me. Yeah. So I go to a bar and I'm like, yeah, I still got it. Woohoo! I'm gonna wear some lip gloss. And it's gonna go well. And sure enough, I see a dude in the bar that is so attractive. Like, I see like a hot guy. You ever see someone so hot they lower your IQ? I was like, well, it's nice to look, I'm just dumbed down by it. And he starts talking to me first, right? So I get that a little adrenaline, a little ego boost from an attractive person giving me attention. It's going well, right? I'm like flipping my hair, I'm like touching his arm, like all the things Cosmo says to do. Like touching his arm when I make a point. Oh, you don't say, right? Then I say, what do you do for a living? Which I think is a normal question. And he says, I'm a sanitation worker. Which is fine, it's totally cool. No, he's employed at all. He's good looking, he's in a union. He's, like, what do I need, right? But he goes, I'm a sanitation worker, and then he looks me up and down, and he goes, so I'm used to picking up trash. So I said, did you just admit that you're picking me up? You got it. I like the arms. I can't really see your head the way you're lit, but I can see just the flailing arms. Yeah, that was my. Wait, what did I just say? Sanitation. Oh, yeah. There's no segue to this. That's why I didn't remember where. Is anyone in here gluten-free? Just one person? A little. A slight sensitivity, but not a deathly, like... Sometimes you need bread. So you're gluten-free except when you need bread. It's bad, you're right. So it's like an allergy, but not like a disease. Yeah. I have a friend who has, like, the real thing, like, he's got to avoid it or, like, he'll die. Like, it's bad. And it makes going out to restaurants just slightly more high maintenance, but not terrible. But he has to have a conversation with the wait staff every time. And we went out to a restaurant, and he said, is the soup made with flour? And she said, I don't know, let me go check. But it was really busy, and she seemed kind of flustered. And he said, don't worry about it. Just when you go to the kitchen, ask them if it has flour in it, and if it doesn't, bring me a cup of it. And she says, great. And she runs off to the kitchen and comes back and puts down on the table a cup of flour. It's the pronoun problem. If the soup doesn't have flour in it, bring me a cup of it. And she thought it in the sentence meant flour. Is she an evil genius, or is she that stupid? Like, it's a cup of, it'll kill him. Like, and here's your cup of bees, like, person who's allergic to bee stings, and here's a loaded gun with, like, what? And then we were stunned, because who does that? Like, is it her first day? We didn't know what to say. So he covered pretty well. He was like, can I also have 3 tablespoons of water and a blown up balloon? Because I'm just gonna make a hat. I'm just gonna make a paper mache hat here at the table. I want to make you feel stupid. It's not stupid. I myself have had some problems with my tum-tums, with my digestion. I want to tell you about it, but I don't want to gross anyone out. I know some of you are eating, so I'm going to use a metaphor. I need you guys to follow along with the metaphor, if you would. I want you guys to all picture my digestive tract as an amazing and beautiful hotel, right? And every day I check people in, quality, vetted people get checked in every day, in through the front door. And they're supposed to stay about a night and then exit out the back door. Roughly the next day. But what happens is my hotel is so beautiful and comfortable that people check in and they never, ever, 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 ever check out. But that doesn't stop them from lining up at the door. Oh, they'll line up at the back door. They'll get right up there and they'll bang on it. And they'll say, we're ready to go. We're ready to leave now. And I'll say, that's great. And I'll open the door and say, you can go into this parking lot that I have provided for you just for this time. And they get right up to the edge and they go, I don't think we're ready to leave. And I'll say, well, are you sure? Because you all knocked really urgently. And I have to be on stage in 32 seconds. So, like, now would be a good time if you could leave. And they go, oh, wait, you're right. And then they just roll out a baby. And I'll be like, well, that's great, but that baby needs to be accompanied by an adult or 2. Some people have suggested sending in a bouncer in through the front door and scaring them out the back door, right? And that works, actually is an effective method. But when you are frightened, do you leave in an orderly fashion? Or do you run screaming into the night at all hours? Often when I have to be on stage in 32 seconds. Others still have suggested, why don't you send in a scary bouncer in through the back door? More direct. Get right there. And that, again, is an effective method. However, the back door is almost exclusively exit only. There have been very few notable exceptions over the years. One time, Hanukkah started on a weekend. One time there was this internship I really wanted. One time it was my cousin's birthday and I spaced, like very... Right, that's surreal. But it's mostly exit only, so that method I can't even do for that long. But I still have to check people in. I'm running a business. I can't just not check people in, right? So they keep piling in and they keep piling up at the back door and they get mad. They get so pissed because there's nowhere else to go but out the door. They can't go back into the hotel. So they get angry and they get all squished up in there and they see and they finally go, you want us out of here so badly? We're out of here. But on our way, we're gonna grab this cactus. And I'm gonna cover myself in broken glass. And we're all gonna link arms. And we're gonna bust through the back door all at once. And we're gonna rip off your fucking door frame. Now, I don't know if anyone in here has had their door frame ripped off your back door. It is uncomfortable. I tried to repair it myself, but I was ill-equipped to repair it, so I had to call a handyman to look at it. And when I described the problem to the handyman, he went, whoa, back doors? Well, I only do front doors. You need to call a handyman specialist. But I didn't have hotel insurance, so I just hung a tarp over it and hoped for the best. Are you guys following the metaphor? Did you guys get that the people are my poo? Is that clear? I did eventually get hotel insurance. I finally did go to a specialist, and he said, well, some of the people have kicked out next to the door and made it bulgy. Can I drop the metaphor? We know each other well enough. I had hemorrhoids. I had some goddamn hemorrhoids, right? And I needed surgery, and that wasn't unexpected. Like, I looked it up, like that's what I thought it was gonna be. And so I'm like, yeah, let's schedule this surgery, and it's uncomfortable, but I'm feeling like this is routine, So I go in there, and I'm all prepped, and you're starving, and they put me on the table, and they're gonna inject me with the sleepy-making stuff as they roll me over to get access to the back door. And as the needle goes in and I start losing consciousness, they roll me over, and the last thing I hear the doctor say, as I go out, I hear him go, oh my God. And then I'm out, that's it. And then I'm like in like sleepy land, And so I wake up from the surgery, and when you wake up out of surgery, what do you want the doctor to say to you? Everything is great, you did great, everything's fine, oh my gosh, greatest asshole in the world, like something positive. Like you want like a like I know this great doctor who wants to date you, like it's something, like a positive thing. This is what I woke up to, this happened. I woke up, I'm groggy, and he goes, ugh, and hands me a business card. And he goes, you need to talk to this woman. I don't know what's going on back there. There's some kind of mess in your butthole. And you need to go talk to this specialist. So I'm like, sort of like, psyched that I like stumped a doctor, Like I'm special. Like this makes me a unique person that he'll like remember me. Anyway, so I go to the specialist. You guys, I had 4 things wrong with my butthole. Someone just put an egg beater in there. I don't know what happened. Here are the 4 things. 1, I had hemorrhoids, which I knew about already. They're not that exciting. There's commercials on TV for them. We've heard of them, right? Pregnant women get it. It's common, right? No one can spell them. There's an H, like what? Hemorrhoids, I don't know. Boring. Second thing, fissure. A fissure is a tear. So that means that my poo people just like ripped out some bricks like out of the hotel back door, if we're following the metaphor. Usually that will heal on its own, but there's not much they can do for it. Third thing, this is very exciting, you guys. I had an anal fistula. An anal fistula, I'm glad Matt's laughing. You're the only one who laughs. An anal fistula. So an anal fistula is another tunnel. That means that my poo people got so pissed off and so angry that they tried to tunnel out a separate hole. Could they fit through it themselves? No. But they could cry through it. They could spit through it. My asshole tore itself another asshole, you guys. I had 2 assholes. Now, many of you only have 1 asshole. Like losers. Not cool kid over here with my dual poop holes. So that was fun, learning that. And then the fourth thing, and this is my favorite medical diagnosis that I have ever gotten and will carry me through the rest of my life, and explains a lot about the first half of my life, which is I have a medically tight asshole. I'm a tight ass, right? I can say I'm a tight ass. Someone's like, why are you such a tight ass? I'm like, because I literally have a tight ass. That is my favorite thing ever. How do you treat a tight ass? Well, I'll tell you. Stretch? No, we had tried that when we avoided the exit-only portion of my life. Although that did occur to me. No, Botox. Botox, you guys. I'm no longer Botox free. I had a shot of Botox in my bunghole, and now my asshole looks like my mom's forehead. You know? It's just a very serene, like Nicole Kidman. Like, it's very. I can't tell if it's angry anymore. It doesn't emote, you know, from here. I had very painful, crazy surgery to correct all of these things at once. It was awful. And there's a lot of risks in the surgery. Like I had to sign many, I had a 1 in 10 chance of being incontinent forever and needing a poop bag, right? And so that was scary. And someone in here probably has a poop bag, and you'll admit you would rather not have it, right? It's like, you're fine, but like you'd rather not. So, it went well. The surgery, that's when I did wake up and they said it went well. But one thing they didn't tell me was that when you rebuild someone's asshole, it changes their farts. That was not in any of the literature. Nobody told me that. The texture, the sound, the feeling, the vibration, it's just a weird new, I had to relearn how to fart. Like, I want to be the poster child for anal fistula surgery so that I could be like, here's what to really know, ladies. Like, give you, just write that article for Cosmo. Like, what the doctor didn't tell me about anal fistula surgery. Some of you might be wondering why you just listened to me talk about my asshole for 12 minutes. It is because I didn't go through that goddamn surgery last year to not get something out of it. And the whole time, I was high and in pain. I was like, this better be funny later. This better be funny later. Oh God, if I don't tell this to a room full of strangers soon, it'll be for nothing. So that's why, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you for listening to Tales of My Asshole. That's the weirdest applause break I've ever gotten. But all 3 of us, appreciate it. Here. My mom is awesome. My mom lives in Brooklyn. I live in New York City, and my mom lives in the same city as me. She comes to a lot of my shows. She's very supportive, but she gets exposed to language she would never normally be exposed to. All right, so one time after I did a set, she came up to me, great set, thanks Mom. She said, what's teabagging? And I said, okay Mom, I will explain teabagging to you. When a man and a woman love each other very much, and the woman has had far too much to drink, she will lay down on the ground, on her back, with her mouth agape. And the gentleman will stand above her and remove his trouser pants and dip his testicles into her mouth, much that you would a tea bag, into a cup of hot water. Is that right for you? Accurate for those of you who knew what it was, right? Do you want to hear my mom's reaction? That. Mom's cooler than us, guys. Nothing shocks her. She got remarried. My parents are divorced. She got remarried. Mom married an awesome dude. I really like this guy. He is quirky, though. We went out to dinner once, and I ordered calamari, and I offered him some. I said, Ed, would you like some calamari? And without missing a beat, as if it had been on his mind, he just went, calamari tastes like condoms. So there's a natural follow-up question, right? When were you eating condoms? Are you a drug mule? I don't see a reason to eat a condom. And the condoms that you were eating, were they battered and fried and dipped in marinara sauce? Because that's all, I would eat that. That sounds great. Raw, not so much. So a couple months after that conversation took place, pretty much word for word, I'm at a wedding with my stepdad, and there's a buffet table laid out. And on the buffet table is calamari. So my stepdad comes up to me, nudges me, and goes, "Those condoms look delicious." As a little callback to our little inside joke, right? And he looks up at me to see my reaction, and that's not me. So my stepdad went up to a complete stranger at a wedding, nudged her, nodded at a table of food, and just went, "Those condoms look delicious." She looks up, "What the fuck was that?" As you would, right? He looks up, "Holy shit, I got the wrong person," as you would, and also in that moment realizes there's no graceful way to explain that. Like, how can he, so he just went, "Yeah." He just did the creepy walk away. Just let her have that. You know, that's just for her, forever. You know? Her life will go on. Does anyone in here have a stepdad that they like? Good. This one's for you two. There's always two in a crowd. Everyone else, happily married parents, or they hate their stepdad, or single mom. I don't know. I was looking for a greeting card for my stepdad. I just needed it to say, "Dear stepdad, happy birthday," and that's it. And I could not find anything in Hallmark. So I wrote my own card, and I did have these printed. They'll be available after the show, if either of you would like these. But on the outside it says, "Dear stepdad, we don't share any of the same DNA." And then you open it and it says, "But we've both spent some time inside mom." Happy birthday.